If you are a Canadian senior or you are helping someone you love navigate their benefits, this video could be worth hundreds of dollars to you. Right now, in 2026, the federal government has made the biggest changes to senior benefits in a generation. More money for groceries, better dental coverage, stronger protection against fraud. But here is the thing, almost all of it comes down to one single action. And if you miss it, you could lose benefits you have already earned. Stay with me. I am going to walk you through everything step by step in plain language. No jargon, no confusion. My name is David Mitchell, and this is exactly what you need to know. Let's start with the big picture. A new law called Bill C-15, the Budget Implementation Act 2025, received royal assent on March 26th of this year. Think of it as Ottawa's formal promise to Canadian seniors. It covers 5 major areas: your grocery benefit, your OAS and GIS payments, your dental coverage, a new automatic filing system coming later this year, and new laws to protect you from financial fraud. There are also some bonus measures we will cover, including support for caregivers and community programs right in your neighborhood. But before we get into any of that, I need to tell you about the one action that unlocks all of it: filing your 2025 taxes by April 30th. That is it. That is the key. Every single benefit we are about to discuss depends on it. We will come back to this at the end. For now, let's get into the good news. Let's talk about your grocery money first, because this is where most seniors will see the most immediate difference. The old GST HST credit, that is the goods and services tax and harmonized sales tax credit that you may have been receiving for years, is being replaced by something new. It is called the Canada Groceries and Essentials Benefit, or CGEB. It is designed specifically to help with the real cost of food, which has been rising faster than general inflation since 2020. And it works in 2 stages. The first stage is a one-time top-up payment arriving on June 5th. This is a lump sum, a bonus payment, landing directly in your account. How much you receive depends on your situation. If you are a single senior earning around $25,000 a year, that is roughly $267 extra. For couples, it is around $349. For a single parent with one child, it is about $441. And for a family of 4 with a net income of around $40,000, it is up to $533. This money is calculated as 50% of your annual GST credit from the 2025 to 2026 benefit year. It is front-loaded relief, money in your pocket before the permanent changes even kick in. The second stage starts on July 3rd. That is when your regular quarterly payments go up by 25%, and they stay higher for the next 5 years, right through to 2031. This is not a one-time boost. This is a sustained increase locked in for half a decade. The government projects this will deliver $8.6 billion in total additional support across the country. It also expands who qualifies, bringing in about 500,000 new Canadians who were just above the old eligibility limit. If you did not qualify before, it is worth checking again, because you may now. Now, I want to be very clear about something. To receive that June 5th top-up, you need to have filed your 2024 taxes and been eligible for the January 2026 GST payment cycle. And to receive the enhanced quarterly payment starting in July, the government uses your 2025 tax return to calculate the amount. If that return is not filed by April 30th, your payments could be interrupted or delayed. For seniors who rely on these funds for monthly budgeting, that is a serious risk. We will come back to the April 30th deadline at the end of this video because it touches everything. Before we move on, listen carefully. We cover every new change, every new benefit, and every important deadline that affects Canadian pensioners as soon as it happens. No complicated language, no confusing jargon, just clear, practical information you can actually use. Hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss an update. Now let's talk about your regular monthly income, your OAS and GIS. Old age security and the guaranteed income supplement are the backbone of retirement income for millions of Canadians, and they are adjusted every single quarter to keep up with the cost of living based on changes to the Consumer Price Index. For the April to June 2026 quarter, there has been a 0.1% increase, which brings the total rise to 2.1% since April of last year. Small numbers, but they add up over time. Here are the current maximum monthly amounts for this quarter. If you are between 65 and 74 years old, your maximum OAS pension is $743.05 per month. $05 over. If you are 75 or older, you receive 10% more, that is $870.36 per month. That higher rate for seniors 75 and over was introduced in 2022 and recognizes the higher health care and support costs that often come with advancing age. If you are a single senior, widowed, or divorced, and you also receive the guaranteed income supplement, you can get up to $109.85 per month on top of your OAS. Add those together, and a single senior age 75 or older receiving the maximum support can now receive over $1,227 per month in combined federal payments. That is a meaningful income floor for some of our most vulnerable neighbors and family members. For couples, the GIS amounts vary depending on whether your spouse also receives OAS. If your spouse receives the full OAS, your GIS is $668.08. If your spouse does not receive OAS, your GIS matches the single rate of $1,009.85. There is also a monthly allowance of $1,1113 now for a spouse aged 60 to 64, and a survivor's allowance of $1,682.15 for widowed seniors in that same age range. These payments are distributed in the last week of each month. The April 2026 payment went out on April 28th. Now, a quick note on the OAS clawback, and I know that word can sound alarming, so let me explain it simply. If your net world income for 2026 goes above 95,323, you will begin repaying a portion of your OAS at 15 cents for every dollar above that threshold. This affects higher income seniors and is calculated through your tax return. For the vast majority of people watching this, it will not apply, but it is worth knowing. For the guaranteed income supplement, eligibility for single seniors phases out once your non-OAS and non-GIS income exceeds $22,512 for the year. If you are still doing a little part-time work, and many seniors are because it keeps you active and connected, here is some genuinely good news. You can earn up to $5,000 a year from employment or self-employment without any reduction in your GIS at all. And beyond that, a partial exemption of 50% applies to the next $10,000 of earnings. That means you can earn up to $15,000 while still retaining a substantial portion of your supplement. Advocates, including the National Institute on Aging, are pushing the government to raise that full exemption even higher to better reflect today's costs. But for now, $15,000 is the working threshold. Let's move on to dental coverage because this section comes with an urgent deadline and I do not want anyone to miss it. The Canadian Dental Care Plan, the CDCP, has provided dental coverage to over 6.5 million Canadians since it launched. Many of those Canadians are seniors who had never had any form of dental insurance before in their lives. Oral health is directly connected to overall health, heart health, diabetes management, nutrition, so this plan has been genuinely life-changing for many people. But here is what you must understand. Coverage under the CDCP is not permanent. It does not renew itself automatically. It operates on an annual benefit year that runs from July 1st to June 30th. And every year you must renew your enrollment to continue receiving coverage. The renewal window for the 2026 to 2027 benefit year opened on April 15th. The deadline to renew is June 1st. If you do not renew by June 1st, your coverage will expire on June 30th. And there is no retroactive coverage. If you have dental work done during the gap period, after your coverage expires and before you re-enroll, you will pay 100% of that cost yourself. No exceptions. To be eligible to renew, you need to meet 4 conditions. First, you must have filed your 2025 tax return and received your notice of assessment from the CRA, because the government uses that information to verify your household income. Second, your adjusted family net income must be below $90,000. Third, you must not have access to any private or employer-sponsored dental insurance. And fourth, you must still be a Canadian resident. If you meet all 4 of those conditions, renew now. Do not wait for the deadline. Renew through your My Service Canada account online or call Service Canada directly if you prefer to do it by phone. Processing takes time, and the last thing you want is an administrative delay pushing you past that June 1st cutoff. Your coverage level under the CDCP is based on your 2025 family net income. Seniors with a family income under $70,000 receive 100% coverage of the CDCP fee schedule. Nothing out of pocket. If your family income is between $70,000 and $79,999, you pay 40% out of pocket, and out between 80,000 and 89,999, you pay 60%. And at 90,000 or above, you are no longer eligible for the plan. These co-payment amounts are based on the plan's set fee schedule, not necessarily what your dentist charges. So it is always worth confirming costs with your dental office before your appointment. Now let's talk about automatic tax filing, which is a program coming later this year that could make a real difference for some of the most vulnerable seniors in Canada. Every year, thousands of low-income seniors lose access to the GIS, the CGEB, and various provincial benefits, not because they are ineligible, but simply because they did not file their income taxes. Sometimes it is because of cognitive challenges. Sometimes it is a lack of digital access. Sometimes the tax system just feels too complicated to navigate alone. And the result is that people miss out on money they are fully entitled to receive. To fix this, the government has authorized the Canada Revenue Agency to launch an automatic filing pilot program this fall. The way it works is fairly straightforward. The CRA already has a lot of your financial information on file: your pension T4 slips, your T4A slips, your T5 investment records. Under the pilot, the CRA will use that existing data to pre-fill and effectively submit a basic tax return on behalf of eligible individuals. The pilot will initially target Canadians earning below the low-income threshold, generally under $16,129 a year. Starting in March 2027, the program will expand to let individuals review and approve pre-filled returns through their digital CRA account. And the goal is to reach full implementation by the 2028 tax year. This is a meaningful step forward in making government benefits more accessible to the people who need them most. But, and I want to be absolutely clear about this, that system is not fully operational yet. It is a pilot. It is being tested. Until it is fully in place, you must file your own taxes manually. Do not assume the CRA will do it for you this year. They will not. And the automatic system, even once it launches, is only designed for the simplest tax situations. It does not accommodate pension splitting between spouses. It does not handle the transfer of unused disability credits. Both of those are key strategies for maximizing your refund and your net benefit income. If your tax situation involves either of those things, you will still need a tax professional or quality tax software to make sure you are not leaving money on the table. Now let's talk about protecting the money you have, because the fraud situation facing Canadian seniors has become genuinely alarming. Fraud targeting older Canadians has surged by 300% in recent years. That is not a typo, 300%. These are sophisticated scams. Phone calls from people pretending to be from the CRA or Service Canada, fake emails asking you to confirm your banking details, romance scams, grandparent scams, investment fraud, and the financial losses can be devastating, particularly for people on fixed incomes. The government is fighting back with two major developments. The first is the creation of a brand new agency called the Financial Crimes Agency, the FCA, which launched this spring. Unlike existing regulatory bodies that focus on financial compliance, the FCA is built specifically for criminal enforcement. It combines the investigative powers of the RCMP with civilian financial analysts who understand the technical side of digital fraud. Within the agency, 150 dedicated personnel are focused exclusively on disrupting the financial networks that power elder fraud, online scams, and phishing operations. This is a meaningful upgrade in Canada's capacity to actually go after the people running these schemes. The second development is new legal obligations for your bank. Through Bill C-15, the Bank Act has been updated in ways that fundamentally shift the balance of responsibility for fraud. In the past, the burden was largely on you, the consumer, to catch scams and report them. That is changing. Banks must now obtain your explicit permission before enabling high-risk features on your account, like wire transfers or e-transfers, which are the most common tools fraudsters use to drain accounts quickly. Banks must also allow you to set and adjust your own transaction limits. You can put a ceiling on how much money can be moved out of your account at any one time. banks are required to have proactive policies to detect and interrupt suspicious transactions before the money ever leaves. And you now have the right to disable specific account features you do not use, like remote deposit capture, so that there are simply fewer entry points for anyone trying to access your money without your knowledge. These protections are being backed up by the financial intelligence agency FinTrack, pronounced FinTrack, which is providing banks with what they call targeted indicator profiles. These are real-time behavioral signals that help bank systems recognize the patterns associated with scammers before a transaction goes through. My strong recommendation to everyone watching is to call your bank this week. Ask them about setting personal transaction limits on your account. Ask what fraud protection settings are available to you. It takes 5 minutes, and it could protect you from a loss you may never fully recover. Before we wrap up, I want to cover a few bonus measures from Budget 2025 that are worth knowing about, even if they do not directly affect your own paycheck. The first is a new tax credit for personal support workers, the people who provide hands-on care in nursing homes, long-term care facilities, and home care settings. These workers are the backbone of the care system that allows many seniors to live with dignity and independence. The government has introduced a temporary refundable tax credit for PSWs covering the 2026 to 2030 tax years. Eligible workers can claim 5% of their earnings, up to a maximum of $100 per year. Workers in British Columbia, Newfoundland and Labrador, and the Northwest Territories are excluded from this federal credit, not because they are being left out, but because those provinces and territories have already secured separate federal funding to increase PSW wages directly. For everyone else, this credit is estimated to cost $365 billion over 5 years, a substantial investment in the people our seniors depend on. The second bonus measure is the Build Communities Strong Fund, a 10-year, multi-billion-dollar commitment to fund the infrastructure that seniors rely on every day. Recreation centers, hospitals, transit systems. This fund works alongside the New Horizons for Seniors program, which continues to offer grants of up to $25,000 for community-led projects. If you are connected to a local seniors center, a cultural organization, or a community group, it is worth finding out whether they are applying for one of these grants. The program is particularly valuable for funding digital literacy and arts programs, the kinds of activities that keep seniors socially engaged, mentally sharp, and connected to their communities. For federal public servants who may be watching, there is also a voluntary early retirement incentive program that has been running since January 15th of this year and is open for 12 months. If you are a federal employee aged 50 or older or aged 55 with at least 10 years of service, you may be eligible to retire now with an unreduced immediate pension. This program is designed to reduce the federal workforce through voluntary attrition rather than layoffs, and it could represent a meaningful opportunity for older public servants who are ready to make the transition. Speak with your department's HR team or your pension administrator to understand exactly what it means for your personal situation. All right, let's bring everything together because I want to make sure you leave this video knowing exactly what to do and when to do it. The 2026 benefit changes are genuinely good news for Canadian seniors, real money for groceries, meaningful dental coverage, stronger fraud protection, a care system being invested in. These are not just policy announcements. They are dollars that can make a real difference in daily life, but none of it happens automatically. It only works if you take the steps to claim what you are owed. So here is your action list. If you have not already filed your 2025 taxes, do it now. The deadline is April 30th. That return is what determines your grocery benefit, your GIS payments, your dental coverage eligibility, and more. Everything flows from it. If you need help filing, call the CRA at 1-800-959-8281 or visit a free community tax clinic near you through the CRA's Community Volunteer Income Tax Program. Many of these clinics specifically serve seniors. If you have the Canadian Dental Care Plan, log into your My Service Canada account today and renew for the 2026 to 2027 benefit year. The deadline is June 1st, not June 30th, June 1st. Give yourself time for processing. Call your bank this week and ask about setting transaction limits and reviewing your fraud protection settings. It costs you nothing and it matters more than most people realize. And mark these dates somewhere visible. April 30th, tax filing deadline. June 1st, dental renewal deadline. June 5th, your grocery top-up arrives. July 3rd, your enhanced quarterly payments begin. If this video helped you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. A parent, a neighbor, a friend. These changes affect millions of Canadians and not everyone knows about them yet. Subscribe to this channel so you never miss an update on Canadian senior benefits, explained in plain language every single time. I am David Mitchell. Take good care of yourselves. I will see you in the next one.